Hey, hello teachers. It's me, Shannon Williams, your CTE consultant at the ISD. I just wanted to give a quick update regarding the requirement around student safety and documenting student safety. There has been a slight change in regards to what's required for CIP self-review, but but that's it. Like, we still have to do safety training, we still have to track, and we still have to monitor. I just wanted to make sure I laid out what the change was and what you still have to do for your local safety requirements versus what you have to have prepared for a track. So you'll notice, like, on this screen, it talks about this is, includes ongoing CIP specific safety training. It has to be done before work-based learning. This is like CIP self-review language, and that it specifies that you have to specify what the training is, give it some description, and then when it was actually, when it occurred. But the other thing that OCT is asking for is, you're going to hear a few different things about, the frequency of it. Some of the templates from OCT, actually, I'll show it to you, but are, asking for it, by different course. But I did confirm with the state that it is by program. So we are recording our safety training that we're giving to students by program. Now, some will have multiple by each class. You might do, year one, they do this training, year two, they do this training. Some trainings are on an as needed basis, and I'll show you the template for that. But there's two distinctions I want to make. If you remember back in the, last year, for safety, you had to upload a student list with dates next to the student names, and regarding it, like, safety had to be tracked at the student level for CIP self-review. That has changed. You no longer have to, for CIP self-review, so what you're going to upload into GEMS or what you previously had uploaded into Navigator, you no longer have to have student lists in there. What the state is asking for is they want to see a list of all the safety training that is associated with your program, how often you do that or when you do that, and then a record of the date that that occurred in this school year. Now, you might be thinking, great, we don't have to track on a student level anymore. Well, that's not necessarily true either, because after talking with your local leadership and your local CT directors, that's really not best practice to not have a record of when an individual student was safety trained, just for liability purposes. If anything was to happen to a student and it comes back, they're going to say, well, was the student trained? Where's your proof of it? So while student list of safety training and dates do not have to be uploaded into GEMS, we do still need to keep track of it locally. Now, how your local CT director asks you to do that might be different. Some might be asking you to just put it into PowerSchool as assignment, whether you give it a grade or not, but it's at least a record of when the students had been safety trained. I would recommend doing it that way. Some local districts might have a different way of doing it, but that is something that you're going to hold on to locally. You're not uploading that information anywhere. You're not putting the student list anywhere, but you do still want to track when your students, by date, received a specific safety training. So again, I'll kind of reiterate, there's two different compliance pieces we're talking about. There's, what do you need for CIP self-review? And then what should you do to keep just locally at your district so you can verify, if asked, when an individual student was safety trained. Two different things, both equally important, both required. But what I want to share with you today is what the requirement is for the CIP self-review, which is not individual student based. It is keeping track of all safety training that is required or that you do within your program. Now, the state provided a template that looks like this, and you might see it at some of your association meetings. This is the template that's on OCTE's website. If you like this template and it makes sense to you, there's no reason you can't use this template. This template has it laid out by course though, and you giving like, okay, this is my marketing 1 course, this is my marketing 2 course, and then you list trainings below it, and then you describe them and what's required for their completion. But it's not not all of that information. It's good information, but it's not necessarily required. And sometimes you can get caught in the weeds with this. So I provided another example that I'm attaching to this email. And if you come up with a better, if you already have one that you like, you can use that. But just know the things that need to be on there. I'll go back to this, is a list of the specific of what the training is with description, how often you do it, and the date it was done that year. So at a minimum, those are the things that need to be on your program list. So if you look at, this is the template. I kind of tried to fashion it like you're about to get an advisory one as well. I have an advisory template. It kind of looks, similar style. But essentially, this is just your identifying information up at the top. It would be your list, your name of the safety training, a little description of what it is, how often you do this. Is this annual? Is this as needed? Is this first year students, second year students? And then the date for that year. And you would just list them all. So to show you like an example, obviously this is fake information. I just jotted all kinds of stuff in. If I'm at this district, let's say I'm in the health CIP code, my program name is medical health, I have my PSN on there. I could put, okay, CPR is the training, and then I give it a description, very nice description here. Maybe I do this in the first year of the program and I repeat it if necessary. And then when I actually did that for 2021, I would put the date that happened. Notice it's not tied to a student because I don't need that for CIP self-review. I would keep track of that in my own teacher records, but this is for the CIP self-review. And then maybe there's bloodborne pathogens, and what we do this annually for all courses in the program. And then I could add the next one and I give it a description and say, well, this one's for my second year students. And if I have second year students this year, I would type in the date that I did it, or maybe this year I put, I don't have second year students, but I still tie it to, the idea is to take a holistic look at, here's the CTE program, and this is all the training that's associated with it according to safety. So I did want to show you, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because I want to show you the template live, just so you understand how to play with it a little bit. So this is the template. Make sure I'm sharing that, okay? As far as how I built it was, you can type in here, you can type in here, but then frequency, I created this as a drop down. So you can just pick, is this annually for all courses in the program? Is this for first year in the program and repeat it as necessary? Second year, advanced courses only, and as needed. Now where this drop down is coming from, it's coming from this little key at the bottom. So technically you could adjust this key. If you changed any of this wording right here, it would reflect that in this drop down, just so you know. So you can manipulate this. And then this is, you would just type in the date. I only left like 7 examples here, but I know some of you have extensive safety training just based on your curriculum. So if you needed an additional line, all you have to do is take your cursor, put it all the way over to the left, click on it, like the number 9 or 8 or wherever, somewhere in the middle. And once the whole thing is highlighted, if then you right click and go insert, it will create and insert another row. So now technically I have 8. You might not have seen it happen, but it would insert another row. So then you insert again. So you can keep inserting inserting rows in order to add to this particular document if you need more. So that's the template. That's how to work with it. Hopefully all that made sense. You enjoyed it, but just remember, for CIP, you're gonna create this list, and this list is something that you could then use from year to year, but update. Now this is 2021 dates, or technically you could even add on a column to this and have a running total. However it works for you. There's no set, like you have to use a specific template, but it is specific that you do need to upload a record or something with all of your trainings with the description along with the dates for that year. So hope that makes sense. Hope you're having a wonderful year, and I will talk to you soon.